I peace, brothers and sisters out there. Shalom, Akyam, and Akwaf. I just wanted to continue my Drake coverage from part one of Certified Serpent. So this is part two. Drake unpacks the Nocta ethos. Now we know Drake has a partnership with Nike. And before his partnership with Nike, he was rumored to have a partnership with Adidas. But because of the ritual that occurred between him and Pusha T in regards to him being revealed as, a person that was a quote unquote, not necessarily a deadbeat, because I don't necessarily think of it like that, but just somebody who wasn't necessarily willing to let people know that he had a child coming. Even though it's like, who cares? Like, these people, they celebrities. Why should we even care so much about their personal life? We've been accustomed to caring about that shit. And I'm not saying we in regards to like myself, but in regards to the masses, they've been accustomed to caring about that because these people, they don't have no privacy for the most part. So it's like we just be up all in their business. It's unfortunate. I would never want to be no damn celebrity, man. But just reading up on this, following his Laugh Now, Cry Later video shot on location at Nike headquarters and the release of the Certified Lover Boy album merchandise capsule, Drake and Nike launched a new sub-label, Nocta, a nod to the artist's nocturnal creative process, as well as his allusion to the owl, because we know that the owl is at its most nocturnal. You feel what I'm saying? And the owl is also aligned with his mother goddess programming when it comes to his worship of Minerva, the mother goddess of wisdom and, sorcery, as well as war, Minerva. Ahead of the first Nocta release, Drake shares his thoughts on the spirit of the project. Now, this is Drake with the orange bubble. Now, we know that orange is a color that's associated with the number 33, and number 33 represents enlightenment. And in Masonry, when you reach the 33rd degree, that's the height. You feel what I'm saying? And, when Drake turned 33, I'm sure that was around the time where, he was at his fullest when it comes to enlightenment. That's why he was always wearing orange. He had an orange cap because in the entertainment industry, when it comes to the belief system, there's things that they do on a surreptitious levels to convey it to the masses that they worship Lucifer. So that's why people get incredulous when you point it out, because they think that you're saying crazy shit, but you have to understand the power of deception. You have to understand the power of deception. This moment is full circle for me. And also, alluding to the picture, Drake also is highlighting that right eye for Horus. He's also highlighting that right eye for Horus. So that's also going into Christ consciousness, being enlightened, and the worship system going into, Heru, Horus, so on and so forth, Osiris. I mean, growing up, Nike was everything. It felt like every shoe I wanted, every athlete I liked, everything I owned was Nike. It didn't mean anything unless it had a swoosh. I remember watching all these athletes rapping Nike, each doing the unthinkable, and how it was inspiring. I always felt like there was an opportunity for Nike to embrace an entertainer the same way they had athletes. I thought about how crazy it would have been and would have meant for an artist to have a flagship Nike deal. Well, when you embrace, Luciferianism, it's easy for you to, get those endorsements and so on and so forth, especially when you're an ardent Luciferian. You know what I mean? That's why Drake, he aligned himself with the number 6 so much. And we know that Phil Knight was going to call Nike Dimension 6 at first, because Dimension 6 is an allusion to Saturn. So let's continue on. I thought about how crazy it would have been and what it would have meant for an artist to have a flagship store. Now we see here Nocta, and we see the color scheme for black and yellow for the sun and the black sun for Saturn and the sun. I'm sure there's other colors, but there's a reason why he highlights orange, yellow, and black. Well, here yellow and black, but in the other picture we saw the orange. Nocta is a realization of all these thoughts and everything I had hoped for. From the culture is rooted into the product, and most important, to the partnership and scale that allows me to share it with the world. Nocta is about creating something for people on the move, people who want functional, comfortable fits that are adaptable from one environment to the next. But as much as it's about what we make, it's also about a mindset, an unforgiving drive, a relentlessness characterized by the type who are on the road all day, all night, the grinders, the hard workers, trying to accomplish their goals and taking no shortcuts. That mindset also includes loyalty and team. Whether you are in Toronto, London, or Paris, there's this uniform look. Nike Tech fleece, the gloves, that hat, and it has a real team feel. I wanted to take a piece of that culture that I grew up with, that school of thought, and bring the best to it. With Nocta, we were trying to make the hardest jacket, the hardest tracksuit, the hardest gloves, just the best of that world. This opportunity is something that I've been waiting on for a really long time. To be associated with the highest level possible, that was always my goal. We put in a lot of hard work, a lot, man. A lot of man and women hours, during the last 2 years. To see it all coming to fruition starts an exciting new chapter in my life. And we also understand that Nike is the Greek goddess of victory, or Nike. So I suspect that this is a part of the rollout process for Drake's album, Certified Lover Boy. You see Drake here. People saying that this could be Photoshop, but this definitely looks real. And I believe that this is all part of the process in regards to the rollout. This could be from a music video as well. He could be preparing the music video, but I think this is all a part of the rollout in regards to the meaning of Certified Lover Boy, in which you can look at it in many different ways in regards to, what he's trying to convey with this type of message. Now, I covered Drake in my last video on Drake. I think it was Certified Serpent, where I was going into the promo for Certified Lover Boy. He said it's going to be released this month. And you saw a lot of Luciferian imagery. You saw a lot of esotericism and dark artistry. And the reason why it's important for us to point these things out is because it lets you know what type of people these people really are, what they're really into. You feel what I'm saying? Excuse me. So you see here Drake, and he has this hairdo that's kind of like reminiscent of Justin Bieber. He got the little bang with the lover boy heart, cut in there, the little part right there, and it says Big Mood. And Drake looks a little sus here. But that's no surprise. All these artists, they're all pansexuals, especially the ones that's at a high level. And Drake is no different. He is a pansexual. Yes, he is. Drake showed off his new hairdo and fans had mixed reactions. The Laugh Now Cry Later rapper posted a photo of his flippy new flow with a heart shaved into his part. While some believed the look to be real, others claimed it had to be Photoshop. Big Mood, the 34-year-old artist, captioned the pic on his Instagram story over the weekend before quickly deleting the post. I believe that this is real because he said Big Mood. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe that's how he was feeling at the time he posted his picture. He felt like he was in a good mood. Like, I'm embracing my true self. Because I believe that this is what is wrapped around in regards to Certified Lover Boy. Like, this is who I am. I'm embracing my true simpish self. But we know that the real undertone is homosexuality. We know Drake is into that. It's obvious. Drake is I don't care what nobody tell me. Drake is a homo. And most of these rappers, they're not necessarily homos. They're pansexuals. They're into sexual fluidity, if you will. It's just the truth. It's no disrespect. I'm not trying to shame anybody for their sexual proclivities. It's just the truth. You feel what I'm saying? If you study and understand this industry, this world we live in, come on, man. There's no denying it, especially the level that Drake is at. Big Mood, the 34-year-old artist, captioned a pic on his Instagram story over the weekend before quickly deleting the post. Even Drake's hair has feels, joked one Twitter user. Why does Drake's new hairstyle look like 2010 Justin Bieber? Can someone just please tell me that isn't Drake's real hair before I lose my mind, said another. And what people got to understand is that, most of these artists, in regards to albums that they put out, sometimes it's just based in their belief system in regards to their programming. You got Thank Me Later. You have So Far Gone. You also have Take Care. If you're reading this, it's too late. Most of these themes revolve around death. You feel what I'm saying? Most of the themes of Drake's album, it revolves around death. It could be incoming in regards to the next big celebrity death. Because if you guys notice, like, throughout the years, man, there's been all these celebrity deaths, these major big deaths with these celebrities. And for some reason, like, as of the last 3 years, it's been heightened in regards to the celebrity that it is. You feel what I'm saying? Like 2019, you had Nipsey. 2020, you had Kobe. 2018, you had Mac Miller. You had XXX. And for the most part, those are not high profile in regards to Mac Miller and XXX. But when they die, they catapult. They catapult. They get higher. You feel what I'm saying? They looked at into that. They looked at in that celestial sphere as heroes for real in regards to the way they get worship after they die. But let's continue on. Can someone just please tell me that isn't Drake's real hair before I lose my mind? 3 days into 2021 and Drake out here looking like a member of Big Time Rush, a critic added. While several people dragged the rapper for bleaching a heart into his hair, others commended Drake's bold choice. Drake's hair is hard, you guys are bugging, said one person. Who trying to bleach a heart into my hair like Drake? Another asked. While the longer locks are likely the result of a photo prank, the rapper is committed to wearing his heart on his head. In November, he debuted the design on his shaved head, a reference to his forthcoming album, Certified Lover Boy. And I think that this is Drake saying, you know what, I'm going to take these punches. I think with this album, because you got a song called Laugh Now, Cry Later. And that could be something that's, that can be a hint at something. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to reach too much, but it could be a hint at something like laugh now. All the people they ridicule them, they're going to ridicule me in regards to, me being looked at as quote unquote simp, or I'm always making these croony, lovey dovey songs. I'm looked at as soft, even though Drake is, he's garnered some respect in regards to his pen and all that. But for the most part, Drake is looked at as this simpish, croony, lover boy type of dude. As of late, recently, he's gained a certain level of respect, but he will always have that, a part of him in regards to, just that element to him where he's looked at like this corny dude. So I feel like with this album, Drake is fully embracing. I think he's going to be more open and more honest on this album in regards to who he is as a person on a surface level, because most people who have a keen eye, we understand these people, behind the scenes in regards to the underground information, in regards to what they embrace, when it comes to Luciferianism and so on and so forth. So you see Drake here. I guess this is where he tore his ACL, what have you, or recovering from that ACL injury. His rep did not immediately respond to our request for comment. Alright, so we're on Drake's Instagram here, and I just felt like this was a very poignant caption here, because this can be twofold. Now it says, life can look good in a picture, but we don't live in pictures, just know that. And, from a surface level understanding, he just basically talking about, don't get caught up in just what you see as far as, everything that glitter ain't gold. It may look good in the picture, but, behind the scenes, niggas are struggling, so on and so forth. But the other side is just basically going into, just because you see these celebrities living a great life in regards to how they project it when it comes to videos or Instagram pics or whatever, they're fucking tortured. They're tortured souls because they're slaves to Lucifer. They're slaves to the devil. You feel what I'm saying? So it can look good to you based off of what you're seeing from these celebrities, but the understanding of what they have to partake in behind the scenes is something that, is basically against your moral code. So that's basically what Drake is alluding to in regards to, if you know, the people that's in the know. Because we are living in times where only astute ones are going to be able to, connect with what is being conveyed to us on a surreptitious level, on a three-dimensional level, on a Luciferian level. You feel what I'm saying? So I just wanted to point this out as well.
That was chilling video from the night an OVO crew member was murdered in cold blood. Here's what's trending right now. Police released surveillance video showing Anthony Suarez being shot and killed by two men walking past his apartment building in Toronto last week. After opening fire, you see the men jump into a white car and take off.
I've spoken to the family of Mr. Suarez. They indicated that he was known to Drake. Drake was a friend of his. Many of the family members have met Drake. And I certainly would encourage him through his tweets to encourage anybody within the community to come forward with regards to any information that they have that may assist in solving his friend's murder.
So this was a performance from 2015, I believe, during the if you're reading this, it's too late era. And you see this little image here where Drake is on stage and the six is behind him as a backdrop. But if you look at this performance, this six flashed 3 times with Rihanna's image behind him. So Drake, Drake is blatant with this shit sometimes. It's just that it go over a lot of people's head, man. But Rihanna was behind him as the six had flashed 3 times. So Rihanna, we know what role she played in his life. She was a handler, mother goddess figure in his life in regards to their dynamic, especially, also with Chris Brown as well. And you see here Drake with the music in his music video. I believe this is for Started From the Bottom. I could be wrong. But yeah, you see the OVO owl behind him. He's wearing the all black. And he's throwing up his index finger for Saturn. Right? And he's there. It's like a witch coven. They all wearing all black. It's crazy. Now this is Anthony Soares, the man that was sacrificed before the release of Scorpion and after the release of More Life. So More Life, and then you get Scorpion. So after More Life, you ascend to the heights to where you reach Serpent level, and now you're a Scorpion. And we know about the danger of the Scorpion. So when you align yourself with the Serpent or the Scorpion known as Drake, there can be some shit that can happen to you, man, unfortunately. And you see him here, obviously throwing up that Yoni, the 666, letting you know that he was a sacrifice for Drake. Yes, he was. This was a funeral, unfortunately, as well. You see Drake here. But yeah, man, that man was a sacrifice, man. And Drake, he's like the Jay-Z of this shit, man, when it comes to his level. His levels to this shit. And he's at a certain level with this shit, man. And there's like news about Drake telling certain fans that in a joking manner that he worships the devil and he sacrificed his friend. But I believe that was some hoax shit or something like that, because I don't think that Drake would do that. He's real meticulous when it comes to concealing certain things. But when it comes to like the imagery in regards to Instagram, so on and so forth, it's revealing to people who can see it and have a keen eye. It's not revealing to those who, it goes over their heads. It's only revealing to those who have a keen eye, even though it's fucking easy to see, So this was Drake's most recent album, Dark Lane Demo Tapes. And you see here, Anthony Soares, Anthony Fifth Soares, the man that was sacrificed. There's a reason why he has him on here, because that was his last sacrifice. You know what I mean? That was his last sacrifice. And the sacrifice that occurred in regards to XXX Tentacion, that wasn't necessarily for Drake. Drake had a lot to do with it. He knew about it, but that necessarily wasn't for Drake. That was just in general. That was a general sacrifice. Because it was not only in the cards for XXX, but also XXX was a buffer. He said a lot of things. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you say too much, they remove you quick. But that did have a lot to do with Drake at the same time. But that necessarily wasn't his sacrifice. This was Drake's sacrifice here, as well as others. But I'm just pointing this one out because this was the most recent. So you see Dark Lane Demo Tapes, Deep Pockets, first track, When It Say When, Chicago Freestyle, Not You Too, Tootsie Slide. I mean, it ain't necessarily relevant to get into the track list, but it's important for us to understand why this image is on here, because this was a sacrifice. Dark Lane Demo Tapes. Drake is in the dark lane. And he always been in the dark lane. So I just wanted to go into this image for the album cover for Drake So Far Gone. I know I touched on this before, but, it's very relevant. So let's touch on it again. So this is just basically explaining Drake climbing up the ladder to enlightenment. You know what I mean? You have the roses and the color scheme of red, black, and white. And the roses is supposed to signify death. Also love, but also death. You know what I mean? The red blood, Drake is being enlightened. He's climbing up that ascension as young Drake, young angel. That's what he called himself in the beginning. He called himself young angel because he thought of himself as a Heru figure, or Horus per se, the child god. Now the next album, or the next project, because the last project was a mixtape, so this was his debut album, Thank Me Later. Now notice the theme of Drake when it comes to his album, it always has to do with death in some way. You got So Far Gone, then you have Thank Me Later. What am I thanking you for later? And look at the color scheme, black, white, and red, or really Merlot white and red for the black mass. Also, Take Care. Another theme that's revolved around death. You feel what I'm saying? Or something to where it's a connotation. You feel what I'm saying? That's revolved around death or suicidal thought. Take care. If you're reading this, it's too late. You know what I mean? And obviously showing his mother goddess worship with the left eye being highlighted. We see the right eye as well, but the left eye is more prominent. Even though it's closed, it's still highlighted. And it's a reason why, because Drake is a worshiper of the mother goddess. And he's in this kind of pose because Drake is giving off that understanding that, he has a somber style to him. He approaches music with a sad tone. And Take Care kind of had that feel to it. Even though you had some up-tempo tracks, but I feel like the way he's posing is basically a reflection of the music in regards to Take Care. You have Nothing Was the Same. Nothing Was the Same is basically going into Drake transitioning from a certain understanding of Luciferian to a new level of understanding Luciferian, to where now he's approaching that dark lane. He's approaching that dark lane of the ascension. He's ascending. Nothing was the same. I'm not that old, soft, wide-eyed kid anymore. Now I'm a king. I'm in this shit. I'm in the trenches. I'm willing to do whatever for Lucifer, for my God, quote unquote, right? Because you see him in the sky. It's supposed to represent the sky god, his ascension level. You feel what I'm saying? And also the mother goddess worship with the left eye being highlighted. This is the deluxe edition cover. We know that the standard edition is him as a young child, but the right eye is highlighted because that's supposed to represent Heru, the child god. Drake, he has a Heru altar in regards to his programming. A Heru altar in regards to his programming, and a mother goddess altar. This was the next tape. If you're reading the next project, if you're reading this, it's too late. Another theme revolved around death. If you're reading this, it's too late. It's kind of like a suicide note connotation. You feel what I'm saying? Black, white for Masonic imagery. Drake had a lot of songs with the number 6, with the allusion or the reference to the number 6. 6 Man, 6 p.m. in New York. What was Star 6-7? I think there's others, but it was a lot of 6 references, man. Like Drake loves that number 6, man. He loves the worship of Saturn and the goat. You see here Views. Now, originally, the album was supposed to be called Views from the 6, Views from Saturn, Dimension 6. But he changed it to Views, right? Now, Drake is in the sky again. It's supposed to let you know that he's reaching that ascension. With most of his album covers, it's all about the ascension. From point 0 to whatever point he's trying to get to. 33, you feel what I'm saying? These people, man, they all about their worship of Lucifer, man. They love to worship Lucifer. But yeah, this is supposed to represent Drake, at his heightened level, because he's standing, he's sitting near the tower, the Eiffel. I mean, not the Eiffel. Isn't that like the CN Tower? I said the Eiffel, the CN Tower in Toronto. You see him here, and he's supposed to represent the sky god once again. Now, More Life, album that came out in 2017. And you see it's depicted with the color scheme of black and blue. And the blue is supposed to represent godhood or mortality. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, excuse me, immortality, in which, you know, you have this understanding that if you look at yourself as your own God, then you look at yourself as all being. You know, the beginning to the end. You can never die. You're immortal. That's how they look at themselves in regards to esotericism. They look at themselves as they can never die. Even if they do die, they can never die. That's why Kobe is venerated the way he is. You feel what I'm saying? But that's more for another video. But yeah, more life. Drake is basically letting you know that he's reached a certain level to where he's at his godhood level. Now he's a high level Mason. He's reached his ascension, or he's nearing that ascension, because you have the album that's coming out, the album that came out after this, which was Scorpion. Excuse me, it came out after this, which is Scorpion. But More Life is supposed to represent that godhood, his ascension to godhood, his God level ascension, quote unquote, because no one is a god. But I'm just saying in regards to their belief system. Now you see here Drake for the album cover for Scorpion. This came out in 2018, obviously in the black and white, but pretty much supposed to, you know, give off that all black feel for Saturn. Drake reaches his heights. Drake reached that ascension level to where now he's the ultimate serpent. He's a scorpion. He's a dragon. The term Drake means dragon, right? Certified Lover Boy. Now we know that this is not the album cover, but this is the promo cover. And I'm sure you guys see it. I'm sure you guys see that 666 right there. I already covered it. And the rose is supposed to represent death. So could Drake be a sacrifice? Who knows? All I'm saying is something is going to occur in 2021, and it's going to be big. And I believe it's going to be revolved around Drake in some way, and other artists as well, because there have been a lot of things that have been occurring in regards to the oddity of the correlation or connection. But yeah, man, Drake is the ultimate Luciferian, and I just wanted to cover this. So I thank you guys for supporting the channel, and God bless you all. Peace. Shalom.